Welcome to another episode of The Couch Potato. We are your hosts, Jacqueline.
And Keiko.
It's good to be back.
Thank you guys so much again for coming back for another episode of The Couch Potatoes. We are so appreciative for, all three of you guys that listen to us, that being, me, Jacqueline, and probably YouTube, to making sure we aren't being copyrighted. But anyways, we're hoping to gain more listeners like in the future. But we do have plans for the future of the podcast. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Don't count us out yet. And, keep on listening for more content.
We are now in the middle of March. Well, really how the time really flies. I am so ready for the summer.
Do you have any plans though?
Not exactly. Not sure yet. Really depends on the situation for traveling and how contained the pandemic will be then. I really don't want to risk anything if I can't help it.
I mean, yeah, I understand. Like, I get where you're coming from. But okay, so if you could travel though, where, like, pick a destination, like, where would you go? Like, no money, no budget, like anything.
I'm not so sure. I haven't really looked into much about traveling because I don't really travel much. I think I only recently just been thinking about traveling more now that I have some money saved up on the side that allows me to be more flexible. But I haven't looked into ideas of where. There are some places I'm thinking of, but not sure what I could do there. So I don't know if I would want to go places like that. So I have to kind of look into things more. But don't you travel a lot, Keiko?
Well, not right now, but yes, in over time, over my, 22 years of existence, I have been to, I'd say a good amount of places. I'm not like a world traveler, but I've been to Japan, and that was probably like my favorite place. And then Mexico. So literally, like, what I am, exactly my ethnicity, I have been to those places. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Japan is one of the places I do want to go. Almost all the Asian countries sounds amazing and fun. One of the things I want to do is of course try out the food and to sightsee. But a lot of the Asian countries are on my to travel list. But yeah, and then there's some places in the country that I want to go, out of state. But not much. I think I was thinking about it. I think the top place I do want to visit is Canada. That's one place I really do want to visit. I think I talked to you about this. I was like, I want to go to Canada. And then I keep thinking about it. And then I was like, oh, I should go to Canada. And I think Mitchell and I had planned to go to Canada. But then, travel restriction and everything. And now it's everything's on pause.
What the heck? I want to go to Canada with you guys. That sounds so okay, because Canada, they make it seem, well, it seems like a really nice place because they make Canadians sound like such nice people. And I'm like, they can't really be that nice. They can't possibly be that nice with people. But I just want to experience it out there because, it is a little bit different out there. I don't know much about a lot of things, but it just seems like a peaceful area. I don't know. It seems like a fun time. Then there's Toronto. There's I don't know. It just seems like an all around good time. And then they have that poutine. I would like to try that too. But definitely, if you like Japan, I'd say go there first before Canada.
Really? You would pick? I don't know. See, one of the reasons I do Canada is one place I really want to go, and what also makes it more possible is how close it is, to California, so that prices will be cheaper than going, across to Japan or to the Asian countries. So I was like, yeah, it would just be cheaper. Thinking of cost efficient, it is one of the top places I want to go. So I'm just it seems more first, if I were to travel somewhere, I would go to Canada. I feel like that would be my top. So I think I had planned to go to Canada. I got my passport and everything, and then nothing happened.
That's so sad. So you didn't already have a passport?
I got it. Oh, no. I think I got
just
my
for
passport.
Canada.
No, I think I got the passport because I was planning to go to Korea, and I ended up not. So then I was like, okay, Mitchell, let's get your passport, so then we go to Canada because that's some place that Mitchell and I both want to go. So we were like, okay, so then if he gets it, and then we can go. But then he never ended up getting it, and I was like, huh. And then, things happen, and then to this day, like he still hasn't gotten his passport. So I'm like, I want you to get your passport so that we could actually start traveling. But then we don't even know when we'll be able to safely travel, or it will be ideal to
Yeah,
travel.
that's true. I think he'd have a pass. Has he never been out of the country?
No, he has. I think it expired.
Oh
It
yeah, those things
expired.
expire.
Yeah, but then I was like, I was telling him because I was like, summer's coming up, and I was like, oh, we probably have to go back to Hawaii to visit his family. I think that's one
Hmm.
place that we need to go first. But then I was like, if we
Yeah,
go back to Hawaii, then the rest of the travel plan gets pushed back because it's going to be costly going back to Hawaii.
yeah, that money goes to there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, but it's been like over a year since we've seen his mom. Luckily, we were able to go
Really?
last year. Yeah, we were lucky able to go
Yeah.
last year in February, right before restriction closed.
Hmm.
Restriction was placed and everything, and then travel was banned. Um, so we were very fortunate to have gone then, but then we haven't gone back to Hawaii to see his mom, and then like she's not going to be traveling for a while just to be safe. Um,
Hmm.
and then I thought of traveling to see her, like kind of like during winter break or stuff like that. But then they had that
Yeah.
mandated like COVID test before you go, or else you have to do like quarantine for 14 days in Hawaii.
Hmm.
So I was like, maybe not, and I didn't
Now,
want to go
yeah,
through
now I
that.
don't think you have to though. Like you just have to show that you don't have the cocoa, and I think you could still go in.
Really, I need to search it up. I need to
Like
figure it out. But then
as long as you don't have it and they test you, you're fine. Let me see. Do you still have to corn?
I think you still need to do the well. You need to do the test to like 24 hours or 48 hours before your flight, so that they and then showing them the results. That it's a negative, or else you need to
Yeah,
quarantine once
no,
you get to Hawaii.
exactly. Yeah, I think it does. I don't know. It says you still do need to 10-day quarantine. But regardless, like everyone should quarantine. But I think I don't know, I see more people and more people are going on their vacations. They don't really seem worried about like rules and restrictions of traveling. Like I feel like people now are just like traveling again. Like it
Yeah,
seems to be that way, honestly. Like it seems like it's back to normal. I personally wouldn't get on a flight anytime soon because I don't want to be in like, be around people in that same circulated air for that long.
I don't want to risk
But that's just
anything,
me. Exactly.
and it's
Because
not
like
just
what, you
myself or
risk it and
others.
then you're gonna go see a loved one too. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't want to risk it for other people, even strangers on a plane or anything like that. So that's why, like, I didn't
Hmm.
know if we're going to be traveling in the summer. Um, but like I said, it's going to depend on the situation. I think things are starting to look a little bit better now, but we'll
Yeah.
see in like 3 months because it could go downhill again, and then things might be back up in the summer. Like things are constantly changing. Like it's never like
Yeah.
oh, it's like this, we're good. It's like every few days something new
Up and
happens, and
down.
then we have to be careful. So
Well, because more things are opening back up again. So it's kind of like, yeah, we're going forward, but then at the same time, we're opening things up. I don't know. To me, it's like a contradiction. Like, literally just close and then open back up when it's gone again.
I
Like,
don't know.
like this can just go off topic, but it's just very frustrating because this whole thing could have been like handled a different way. But, you know, you know
Yeah,
how we
I
are here.
understand. It
It's just
totally could have
frustrating.
gone a different way. It should have been handled better. I feel like I understand people
Yeah.
are frustrated because they're like, this has been going on for a while now, like this is ridiculous. But
Hmm.
I'm like, things should have been handled correctly in the first place to
Yes.
prevent all of this. If we had done it correctly, it would have been a much shorter time. Even though like it would have been like stricter, it would have gone by
Hmm.
quicker.
Yes,
But
agreed.
yeah, but because it was just
People
kind
don't
of
get
like,
that though.
yeah, it was kind of like, kind of, but kind of not. Like, we're in quarantine, everybody stay home, but oh, okay, you can go to the grocery store. So people were going
Mm.
to Target
Yeah.
and stuff like that, like normally just to get out of the house.
Hmm.
And it wasn't right. And I just feel like if we have done it correctly and take it more seriously at the beginning, of course we still need a quarantine, but it would have been much less.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have just been like this, like little like up and down, like this kind of like status quo while we're kind of in quarantine, but not everyone's in quarantine. But people are still getting
Hmm.
sick because people are still going out. So yeah, I
Like
agree. It's
we don't
just
know how to stay home. It's like we're never. It's not like we're never trained for that, but I don't know. It's kind of like we're just very defiant.
yeah.
Like as you know, it's kind
America
of
has a
unfortunate,
culture.
honestly.
Yeah, American has a
Yes,
culture. Like
exactly.
it's like we really value our freedom. But
Yes.
one thing I realize about American culture that's different from like Asian culture is that we really value like individualism. Like if you're kind of like South, we don't really look at kind of like how it collectivism, how it affects others. I feel like that's why a lot of Asian countries like the way they handle things is differently, or the way people respond to the pandemic was different
Because they
because they think
respect other people.
and yeah,
Yeah.
they think of other people. I don't want to say like, I don't want to be like, oh, Americans don't respect other people, but it's just we
Well, we kind of don't, but
more
yeah.
Asian culture really just think of everything as a whole, like a collectivism
Hmm.
mindset of you're doing this for the greater good. But
Yeah.
of course, with American, it's about like, hey, this is my freedom. You're infringing on my rights. You're infringing, like kind of like
Right.
that about but you don't think of like the greater good of how it could be better for like beneficial for other people in the whole situation if we do this correctly. So that's
It's
that.
really sad. It's sad. But one day, I am hoping to travel again because it just makes me want to try, like just go. I do want to go on, like I do and I don't want to go on a plane. Like I don't, of course I won't. But like yeah, I kind of do miss that feeling. Like you go to LAX like super early, you get on a plane, that hotel feel, like all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a fun like it's just overall a fun experience and a good time. Just like getting away, getting to like go away. And I do miss Hawaii and I want to go back, obviously. But hopefully, maybe by like, I don't know, maybe the end of this year it'd be okay, and like we can all travel again because that'd be nice.
That
But
would
I don't
just
know.
safely. I just want to be able to travel safely. I mean, yeah, as long as
Yeah.
we're being safe and thinking of others around us and everything. Like I want to go to New York as well. Like I think one of the things I want to do in New York is like Broadway. I do want to go and
Oh,
see that.
definitely.
That's something I
100%.
really want to do.
What's it called? I want to go, but I'm definitely gonna like map it out ahead of time, like the places I want to go. Because like yeah,
Hmm.
I just want to like feel the vibes and stuff there. But I definitely want to map it out so I don't miss anything. Because I know it's such like, I mean, I don't want to go there for like I want to go there for more of the experience, not so much, to look at the Statue of Liberty, all that stuff, like
Hmm.
legit, like the culture.
Yeah. So I know if anybody has any idea and suggestions of what we can do in New York, leave it down in the comment. I do want to see what they have to say because like I feel like we have an idea of New York, but there's not much that we know about New York, and we could like, oh, this is what we're gonna
Hmm.
do when we're there. The only thing I really think of is like Broadway, or like I want to walk around like um downtown area, like in Times Square area, just to kind of see the vibe of
Yes.
the city. But other than that, I don't know what else. Like, is there anything else that I should know about if I go to New York? So please let us know. That's one place we
Either
do want
like
to go.
stay away from this area and this
Yes.
area and this area because I know it's like it could be dangerous over there, but I really want to go. Like I want to like go to where do I want to go other than Times Square? Like how they go, what is it like East Village or it's like the up not the Upper East Side, but like how in Gossip Girl. Have you ever watched Gossip Girl?
No,
Oh my
I have
goodness, never?
never.
With Blake
Yeah.
Lively, Serena
No,
and Blair?
I've
No,
heard of it,
Nate?
but never.
No.
No.
Chuck Bass? No? Oh my gosh.
Nope.
Okay, well, that's it just it's a whole experience. I just really want to go. But yeah, if you guys want to leave comments and you see the video is from like a while back, we still get the notifications and we'll still answer the questions as well. Because I know sometimes when I see posts and stuff and I see that it's from like a while back, I'm like, oh, they probably think I'm a creep if I like comment something, ask them where that's from. But no, you guys, like it's fine. We'll see it all our videos are fairly new. Like this is only our sixth episode, so we're pretty good about answering any type of question. So please, please leave us one.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just when I have break, it's during peak season for traveling and vacation because that's when the kids have break and that's when family leaves too. And
Yeah,
I'm like, that's when I have break. So I don't know. And I feel like summer would be the best time to travel just because we have I have more
definitely.
selection for days. But I think I'll be working. I think this summer, honestly, I'm going to be working. I don't think I'll feel comfortable traveling yet this summer.
Makes sense.
Um,
Hmm.
I think I'm just going to be working. I think I'm going to be teaching. I'm hoping that the summer school that I usually work for is open this summer, so that I could work. It
You
was like
prefer
a
little
stress.
kids?
I do. It was just and then the experience was just like a stress free. It wasn't so like
Hmm.
uptight. It was just like a summer experience for the kids to get used to being in school. And it was actually really like nice just doing something and just making a little bit of money because I only worked for like 4 hours for 4 days. So it was like really nice
Oh,
just working a little bit. But yeah, I do prefer little kids. I think that's why like I teach kinder to third right now. And then my
hmm.
school partner is teaching 4, 5, 6, and I'd rather have the younger ones. Sometimes I do
Oh, yeah.
miss teaching the older kids just because I miss having being able to talk to them and communicate with them and having conversation. Um,
Hmm.
but I prefer younger ones. I just think it's just so much cuter working with a younger kid, and I just
Hmm.
think it's before their attitude. They still have this desire to please, so they want to do well.
Hmm.
They want to make you happy. And then when you get them older, you start having these attitudes, and I'm just like, no, you don't show me these attitudes. You don't tell me. You don't say this. Like it's just. I understand like you gotta develop that relationship with them, and it gets there. But I know like those kids are going through puberty too, and then they get moody some days. Some days it's great. Some days they're just like with attitudes, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you acting up today? Like just little things like that. But younger
You're
kids
like,
are
nope,
nice.
cut that attitude.
Yeah, I like the younger kids. But I do appreciate my third graders just because they're like my oldest. So then like I do
Hmm.
have conversation with them. So it's actually nice. My younger ones, it's like barely anything. And especially because I teach
Hmm.
in special ed, my kids are communication skills and like language is so limited. So
Yeah.
I don't get much besides like repetition and they're just answering questions I have. There's nothing like really like they don't come up with like a lot of like things like they'll ask me back and forth. But once I reach third grade, um, most of the time they're able to like ask stuff and they communicate with you. They bring in their own experience, and it's very nice to see and very nice to have like that moment with them.
That bonding moment.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was
Oh,
dancing with the kids yesterday, and it was really fun. We were doing Go
oh.
Noodle, so that was fun with the younger ones. Older kids would not do that. When I was teaching
No,
older
yeah.
kids, they would just be like looking at you, and I'm like, okay, it's a break
They're
time.
like,
Let's
you're
teach
weird.
dance. And then they were like, nope. And then like those sixth graders,
Hmm.
and then I'm like, look, you see, they're dancing, and you have to do it with them, but they're kind of like,
Hmm.
like they're barely moving. But yesterday, my third graders, we were having so much fun dancing, and I was just like, oh yay, and we were just having a blast.
But you still don't have a full class, right? It's just a limited kids.
What do you mean?
Like it's still like it's not like your full amount because still half are in person and half are like on the Zoom still, huh?
Oh yeah, my school came back to in-person schooling last week, and then we
Hmm.
let the parents choose if they want to keep their kids at home or in person. And I have about
Hmm.
half. I have half my students in person and half my students online. Um, but yeah, like even a full class, usually when I have all my students in person, it's never I have them all at the same time. I see them by grade
Um,
sometimes, or I see them by
right.
certain things that I'm teaching. So I never really see them all at the same time. So I never had more than like 8 kids in my room.
Oh, I get. Is it too late? Okay, because like you know how you're saying like you're like bonding more with the kids and stuff. Do you feel like the kids over Zoom are like this could like, like that engagement, watching their or knowing that there's other students in there, like want them to go back? Like, do you think that more students will switch over to the in person, or is it
You
already too late?
can't.
Like,
It's too
oh, it's
late.
so there's like a deadline.
Yeah, we were like, you need to choose, and then like we're limited to how many kids could be in person just because of the space. So it's easy
Hmm.
for them to switch to online if they want to. It's like they could switch
Right.
whenever, but having them
Yeah.
come to in person, that's very limited. Depending on the space. But at this point, our principal's like, nope, no more. Like we already started, everything's set. Like
Hmm.
we're not gonna like change anything out of that. Um, but yeah, like I feel like my kids are missing out a lot by being
Hmm.
online.
Yeah.
I have some kids who I feel like were developing language. They were developing like learning how to
Oh.
speak and learning how to like talk and
Hmm.
asking questions with peers. And at this point, like he is barely speaking. And
That's
I
so sad. It's like
hate
you're
that.
taking 2 steps forward, 5 steps back.
I hate it so much because I'm like, and he's talking like and I can't hear him. And I'm like,
Aw.
okay, you need to speak up. And then at the beginning of the
Hmm.
year, I was actually seeing him coming out from his shell, like
Hmm.
from last year in kindergarten. He's in first grade now. But he was actually like kind of like talking a little bit more. He would be all like, oh, like, all right, I'll go get it. I'll go get my notebook, or I'll be like, okay, 1 second, I'm gonna go look for this book, and he's all like, did you find it yet? And I'll be like, oh, that's so cute. Like he's asking questions, he's saying things versus like
Yeah,
just repeating. But now at this point, he's barely talking. Even when I'm having him just
that's
read.
sad.
I'm not having him like
Hmm.
talk or answer me. I'm just having him read. He's barely like speaking above like a whisper. And I'm just like, you need to
Oh,
speak up. I can't hear you. I'll mute all the kids, turn up my volume, and I could barely hear him. And I'm just like, I feel like he just went backwards.
that's sad. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to say sad because I feel like that's rude, but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of, it is a little sad though, because like you see someone progressing, someone that really needs to progress. Like speech is literally the most important thing, right? Being able to communicate, and it's just sad. I mean, this kind of put a dampen on like everybody, so
Well, it's
it's just
really
sad.
sad. Like I was just so disappointed because like these skills are so precious that they need to learn, and time is
Hmm.
so limited because they need all the time they can get. They're already behind, so all the time they can get to develop these skills are so important. But now they lost like a year. They lost a year
Yeah.
of growth, and for some
Hmm.
kids actually, some kids I felt like did still made progress. So yeah, it's just been that's what's been going on. Like I just have to teach both online and in-person students, and it's just very annoying having to work with that, both in person and online at the same time. So that's been how the situation is for me. Like hybrid is not so great. I don't like it, but I do appreciate and I love having the kids back in the classroom, being able to see their face and being able to help them like in person. That's been great though. Anyway, I don't know how we came upon this topic. We kind of just segued towards this, but
Yeah.
so Keiko, any updates? Anything new about you?
Okay, so basically, Jacqueline, you're asking for the tea. Well, I have to tell you, the tea is nothing because nothing has been going on in my life other than school and work. And honestly, right now, I'm kind of looking for a second job just to, um, fill my schedule up a little bit more, I guess you can say. So I've actually applied to some places, by me, by where I live, because I kind of want to stay in this area because I tend to work like out there, like like in my location now. I was like, let me try coming back here to like my roots. So that's really what I've been focusing on, like every night, on Indeed, on LinkedIn, like filling out little applications and stuff like that. And then also like just like for school, they've been asking like a tuition thing, like, stuff like to guarantee like your placement in the school. So I've been making sure that's set up because I mean, of course, I don't want to lose my position at my school because like that's the only like college I applied for, so obviously. So that's basically all that's been going on for me. Really, I'm really hoping to get a second job soon because I really want to do more with my like time. I feel like sometimes I'm just like being a little lazy. So I definitely want to do that. But honestly, that's really all the tea I have for you. I wish my life was more interesting. The only interesting thing though is when customers come into work and they just make my job way interesting because of how they act. That's probably like the only tea I'll ever have. Like,
I
okay.
know, like it's hard. I mean, I don't like that we have to be so so careful around people
Mm-hmm.
because they're so sensitive. But
Yes.
I I don't like when people would take something and be like, "Oh, you're being too sensitive," and you're like, "No, you're just being like you're not doing something appropriately." Basically, there's a difference between
Yes.
being like somebody um being too sensitive and somebody who's actually just not being right and being inappropriate. And I
Hmm.
think like
No, I
some
agree.
people are just mixing the two together and doing things and just be like when they say certain things, people don't watch what they say and they just be like,
Hmm.
and then they say something and they're like, hey, you're hurting my feelings because you're saying this, and you're like, they'll just be dismissive and be like, you're just too sensitive. But then there's
Hmm.
a difference between, um, you know, being careful around what you say because the other person's going to be, they're just going to take it differently. But some
Exactly.
people take it
Everything could
too
be
serious.
like taken the wrong way nowadays. Like you don't mean it, but it could be that it's just difficult. Like, yeah, I mean, and then when you work in customer service too, you have to say everything correctly. Like, I don't know, you just have to you have to definitely think before you speak, you know,
Mhm.
because you're not only representing yourself, you're representing a brand
Mhm.
and what that brand stands for, regardless if it aligns with like your which you feel or not. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, whatever.
you
I'm just
still need to
hoping
be
I
treated
find
like
another extra job.
people. You still need to be
Yeah,
treated like people. Like that's just not right. But yeah, have you
exactly.
ever heard back from Indeed? I feel like hearing back from Indeed, it's like a myth. Like
Uh,
I have never heard
uh,
back from Indeed.
well, sometimes Indeed makes you go to the company website and apply and like apply. So
Mhm.
when it's from that, yeah, it usually is okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, honestly, yeah. No, because I only really feel like I get a thing back when it says like, okay, apply on company site, and then that's when I start hearing like an actual like response back. But
Mhm.
now that I think about it, no, I feel like I've been
Nope.
scammed.
I don't think people have ever heard back from Indeed. Like I think it's like a legend and like it's a myth and like people
It's a
like using
myth.
Indeed. I'm just like I feel like everyone's just like, have you ever heard back from Indeed? I'm like, I applied to so many jobs when I was in college to like looking for part time or when I'm looking for seasonal
Hmm.
jobs. Like I've never heard back. Never
They
unless I
have to
go onto
though.
the site. Unless I go onto their site and apply.
Yeah, I definitely have to go on Indeed now and reapply for, a couple of jobs. Because I mean, I know every single night, and I don't mean like I don't put in an application every single night, but I definitely look and like try to. I kind of apply for jobs I know I'm not even qualified for, but I still do it. But now that I think about it, yeah, I definitely have to go back because there are some I kind of really want more than others. So I'll be doing that. But yeah, you guys honestly wish me luck. Give me some love, peace, and positive vibes down in the comments. AKA mom, please just comment on this video. I will pay. Oh,
So
Jacqueline, anything
sad.
else to say for the people?
No, I think that's it. Like, I think that's good for this week. I think that's all we have to say. Just some things about how we're doing, just how we're feeling about certain situations, just a little bit of everything. Maybe next week we'll switch it up a little bit. Maybe we'll do some activities or we'll have somebody come join us. We're still thinking of it. And then we'll post it here. So please come back and check it out. We post every Monday. And so you could come back on this YouTube channel and you could also view our previous episode if you haven't heard those already. But other than that, I want to say thank you so much for listening once again. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.